Dave,
No,
how
man, no
was I was
complaints.
gonna say how's Cape Town? I've just been in Cape Town, haven't I, for a good
Yeah, you were.
few days. Oh,
Yeah,
back in Joburg.
but the same. Although it's warmed up a little since you left, so the cold weather was around just for you.
Oh, thanks very much, eh? Alicia in Joburg, usual sunny skies. And geez, we had such a good time in Cape Town though, eh?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Still need to recover a little. We were busy.
Yeah,
We worked. We did a lot this weekend and late last week. So,
yeah,
uh,
yeah. No,
yeah, need to
it's
recover.
yeah.
It's good.
I mean, we should tell the guys what we've been up to, eh?
Yeah, 100%. Go for it. What do we think? We had the tough event.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, the
Um,
tough event was what is that? That is Thursday night. So that's where we went to the rooftop on Bree Street in Cape Town CBD, where
yeah,
Tough invited Professor Francois Barilli. And yeah, it was actually a great evening and wine tasting, and we met some new clients there. We got some connections. We met a few awesome people in Cape Town, and that is just good to be back to a live networking event again, which was awesome.
yeah, 100%. And then Friday we did breakfast with all our members. So Andrew and them were all at an Airbnb here in Bosch. We invited a couple of the members to come have a quick breakfast with us, just catch up, especially some of the new guys who haven't met us yet. So it was really good to get some FaceTime with them.
Yeah,
And then we had a bit of a team time, so we spent some time with the Cape Town team. As you guys know, there's about a bunch of us up in Joburg, and there's a few of us down here in Cape Town. So it was good to have Andrew sort of sitting down with the Cape Town team for a bit of a change. COVID's
yeah, it was
definitely
nice at a beautiful
changed
wine
things.
farm. That is so nice. A great food, and then we prepared Friday night for Saturday. Eh? We had the one-day
Yeah,
workshop, which was such a great experience, and good to get quite a few people in the room, just talking about Cape Town property and what what could we or what can we do in the Cape Town market, and bringing Christian Harbeck, the coach, in, and Louis Skittikat, which is one of the academy's coaching students, who's doing an installment sale agreement and a flip. So it's so good to bring the Capetonians together. Um, and
yeah,
also a really cool restaurant, didn't we, in Kalk Bay?
yeah. And treated you guys to some food, and then yeah, it's good. Um, it was kind of interesting because there's guys who we feel like we've seen and known for so long, but we've never actually met them. Like Louis,
Yeah,
I didn't realize we haven't actually seen him, met him until
it's
then.
crazy.
Um,
And Tennille, and
yeah,
like Tennille that most people know. And I'm like, I know Tennille. Then I met it for the first time going,
yeah,
I
you
know
didn't
you
even. Yeah.
there. Yeah,
We spent hours, days on webinars and phone calls with everyone,
I
but
know.
it was definitely good to not be online for a
Yeah, no,
change.
100%, bro. And just to do that, Cape, it is just really refreshing. And that's what's awesome that, I'll be going to Bloemfontein for a night this month. And next month, we're in PE, we're in East London. For those of you that are in Bloemfontein, say hi, let us know. If you're from East London or Port Elizabeth, please say hi. Make sure that you do meet up with us when we are in your city or town. It'll be good to see all of you. For those of you that have just arrived, this is Andrew and Dave's Coffee Chat at 1 o'clock every Monday, where we talk about properties, what's going on in my property portfolio, Dave's, what's happening with events this week. There's a really, really awesome event happening this Saturday. I want to see you all Gautengers at that event. If you're interested in making money through property sourcing, don't miss that event. And then we have to support you. If you have any questions about a deal you're doing and you're not quite sure how to get started, or you're not quite sure on OTP, use this time to ask myself and Dave some questions. If we don't have the answer to your question, we will go out and find it for you. So, Dave, I don't know if you want to start with what's happening there.
Cool. Yeah, look, like Drew, like you said, it's a pretty quiet week, which is good. Especially after last week, I think we did 9 events. So this week's pretty much the polar opposite. Tomorrow we've squeezed in a last opportunity for semifinals. A few guys had some conflicts, some family issues, so they needed a bit of an extension on that. So that's the end of semifinals is tomorrow night. Looking forward to putting that to bed and starting to select finalists. That's going to be really exciting for that. And then, yeah, like you said, this weekend we've got a sourcing boot camp out in Joburg. That's on the 16th. It's a full day workshop. You've got Nico and Isabel running that workshop. It's going to be a really good opportunity. So if you guys want to work with the brokerage, if you want to start sourcing deals to them, then that workshop is really going to be then put you in the right position to bring deals to the brokerage. And if you've got some deals you want to work on, then they'll also go through how do you source those deals to the brokerage, what does the brokerage need, and really looking to speed up that process. Drew's doing screen share.
Yeah, so I mean, and Dave, it's for, and the way that Nico's designed this is it's not just a one day, it's actually a period over just short of a month. Because what I said to Nico is that individuals, need to realize and understand that it's a different, you attending a one day workshop and getting some theory, and actually going out and implementing what you've learned when it comes to sourcing deals, getting direct to private sellers, negotiating, putting OTPs in place. How do you position yourself when you want to source a property on and earn a fee? How do you keep that legal? How do you buy yourself time? It's actually very, very detailed. And so, how Nico's done this is the first day is the 16th of October. You will then go and you'll apply what you've learned on the day. You will go do viewings. There will be support for you between the 16th and the 13th of November. And then you come back on the 13th of November and talk about what you've actually learned, and the challenges you had, the successes that you've had. And then some of you may go source properties for your own network, and some of you may come back and source properties for the brokerage. That's completely up to you. If you are interested, Dave and the team will give you the links, and let you know how you can get started.
100%. The links are already in the chat box. But it's good, Drew. I think I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a really exciting one. I will miss that one because I'm up in Joburg for the next workshop for the next weekend. But we can talk about it a little later. So I'll be missing it, which is a little bit sad, but it's going to be really good to start seeing everyone face to face. And that was never thought I'd say that. Never thought I'd say I'm sick of Zoom.
Exactly.
Ready to stand on my feet for 3 days in a row.
It's crazy, eh? But it's awesome, hey. So let's just see who's with us, hey, Dave. Who's joining us? I can see Jean Paul's there. How's it, Jean Paul? Good to see you.
We got Tase here. Alani's obviously on. Cornele. Hi. If you guys are new, let us know if you're new. If you're here for the first time, it's always good to know if there's some new guys in the room. Andrew and I will go into some questions now. So if you have some questions, feel free to put those in the chat box, and then Andrew and I'll do our best to answer them. Boitamela, we've got Daniel Gazadi. We've got some people joining us from
And
YouTube.
Sunny.
Yeah, so good audience today. It's nice.
Yeah, awesome. Good to see you all on there. Tell us who's doing a deal. So tell us where you are, which city you're from. Let us know if you are doing a property deal. Let us know if you are brand new to property. Let David know who you are and what are your goals. What are you struggling with? Just interact with us. Please, and remember to tag a friend or a colleague that you know is interested in property. You never know what they might just learn. Bortomelo says, I saw the picture of the tough event this morning. That's excellent. Bortomelo is from Honeydew. Cool. Honeydew out there. I think it's the West Rand or towards the West Rand, if I'm not mistaken. Douglas Cap. Cool.
100%. Jean-Paul's got a question for us. Drew, I don't know if you and I can answer this actually. How long does the process take to become a NSFAS accredited? Well, I have student accommodation. I've never wanted to work with NSFAS, so I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't deal with NSFAS students either. And I guess Jean-Paul, you're asking if that's you're talking to me about it on Friday night. When I was speaking to Dana Bonza when he went through the process, I think it took him in one occasion, it took him 3 months, Dave. But I mean, it could be different depending where you are. Is your property in line with NSFAS in terms of their specs? Because they will come out and they will do a site visit. They'll make sure that the room size are the right size, that you've got the right furniture. And if you don't have the right specification, there'll be a backwards and forwards. So I think it depends if you already have that relationship, if you've got the application in, have they been out to check your property, Jean-Paul? But like I said to you on Friday, I will put you in touch with the right people on that. People might have had different experiences. So if you've recently dealt with NSFAS, if there's any investors out there that are busy dealing with it, let us know. How long did it take you to get NSFAS accredited? Okay.
100%. Yeah, like for some people it's a great opportunity. NSFAS does provide a level of security. So if you're working with some slightly riskier sort of student accommodation, then that's good. But yeah, like I said, I've definitely skewed towards the lower risk, higher end students in here in Cape Town. So it's not something I've necessarily explored.
Cool.
Yvonne has a question for us. Yvonne, I think I haven't seen your name before. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. I think it's your first time, so welcome. Yvonne's wondering if we make use of services of property managers and what the process is. Drew, do we want to talk about preferential and how that works then? I'll quickly grab a link for us.
Yeah, we can. So Yvonne, there's no right or wrong here. There's two ways, in fact, three ways now, how one can look after their property portfolio. Number one, the majority of South Africans right now manage properties themselves. They create their own spreadsheets, they use their own documents, and they just look after the asset themselves. That can be very deadly and dangerous if they're not the right person to manage the properties, because not everyone should become a letting agency or a manager for your own portfolio or for third parties. The other way is you go to a Remax or Just Property or one of the big, large letting agents, and they take care of everything for you. They do full management from putting tenants in, inspections, collecting the rent, and you just sit back and you receive the rent, providing that actually works, because some people have had bad experiences. So there was this big thing in the market, Yvonne, where you either self-manage, do everything yourself, and people fall short because they don't always send out the invoices. They don't hold the deposits in the right accounts. They don't send out invoices, and they make basic mistakes. And then you have the letting agents where if they do drop the ball, the landlords don't stay in contact with them. So, Yvonne, we work very closely with a company called Preferential, which is an online-based technology platform to underpin and enable investors like you and I to build a property portfolio where, yes, they will go to market looking for tenants. They will do the credit checks. They'll do the background checks. They will collect the rent, the deposit. They will take care of the administration and take the financial risk out of it. Why? Because if your tenant doesn't pay, Yvonne, preferential, I forgot what they call preferential promise. They still pay you month one, month two, month three, and depending on the situation, month four. If the tenant does not pay, they will even pay for the eviction costs. So they're very selective as to who they move into the property. Yvonne, where they work with you is they still want the jockey, the investor on the ground, who can still do the viewings for the room or the property. So they do all the background checks. They do or take care of all the admin. All you have to do is show the tenant around and make sure you are happy with the tenant. And then you will still be responsible for doing maintenance inspection. It's your property, your assets. You go there and you actually carry out the maintenance inspection yourself. So it's a hybrid now of you keeping your finger on the pulse and you knowing that invoices will be sent out, that you do have rental insurance in place, that you do have a team behind you to manage that specific property. So Dave has put the link in the comments box. Yvonne, click on it, speak to Iman, Iman at Preferential, ask her about the services. And I mean, it's as little as 2.75% up to 4.5% plus minus, depending on the risk factors, depending on how many properties it is. So it is also less than half of what you would pay a full managing agent. So hopefully that's answered your questions, eh?
Yeah, 100%. And I think just to add on to that, like, I think the value of it is a lot of landlords have gone the traditional route where they get a managing agent in place, and then the tenants never speak to the landlord. And that level of disconnect we found during COVID with all the issues that happened, it really didn't help because the tenants didn't feel like they could actually talk to someone. So at least when you're doing the viewing, you're doing the initial process, and they're still getting the vetting and everything from preferential. At least you're building a relationship with the clients. You can still manage them. So if you've got something that goes wrong, you can actually manage that tenant, and they're not just fighting with the lettings agent, and then you hear the fallout. So it's a really good balance over there, which is nice.
Exactly, yeah. So Yvonne, check them out. I see Daniel saying he's closing another back-to-back in Kempton Park. Final
Nice.
few details of negotiations. That's awesome. Nice one, Dan. Let's chat about that one. That's good. Okay.
Cool. Portmanteau's asking about something. Portmanteau's in the process of securing a property for Airbnb on a rent-to-rent, and the rental agent charged 1,000 rand for credit vetting. I found this very disappointing, considering that you could draw TPN reports for less than 1,000. Honestly, Portmanteau, at the end of the day, the property owner has a mandate, sign the mandate, agree to those fees. Lettings agents need to make money; they need to have a profit, so they can't just run everything at costs. And a lot of letting agents more make a lot of their revenue and a lot of their income on the signing of the contracts, of the first month rent collection, of placements, on credit vetting, those sort of things. So that's where a lot of them actually make their revenue. So they're often front loaded, and that's one of those things that um, tenants don't always see, and also I don't think landlords always see, is how much expenses are front loaded on a property, on getting a tenant lease in place. Because if you think of it practically, you sign a lease. Here in Cape Town at the moment, 2 months is pretty standard for your rental deposits. You got to pay tenant vetting, placement, all the other stuff, contract work, and then the lettings agent usually take the first month from the landlord as well. So the fees can really stack up, and that's one of the reasons. Again, we obviously talk about preferential now. Again, those fees are a little more reasonable. I think, Drew, I don't want to quote it, but I think preferential's a few $100 for their placement fees.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know that SAPN members get a better rate as well.
So they've got some really good deals at the moment. So for all of those, whether you have got an existing property portfolio and you're looking at decreasing your expenses and you're looking at getting a higher profit margin, just reach out to Preferential and just speak to Iman and say, hey, Iman, I heard about you guys through the coffee chat with Andrew and Dave. Can you tell me more about how you can support myself and my properties and see if you can actually save some cash?
100%.
Cool. What else we got
Cool.
there?
That's about all the questions that we have for now. I'm not seeing anything else coming through.
I could see there Jean-Paul was. I mean, Jean-Paul, how many properties have you been viewing lately and putting offers in? So Jean-Paul is one of my mentorship students, and I mean, Jean-Paul, you've had an offer accepted in Brackpan, haven't you? And hopefully soon to have one accepted, hopefully in Eastleigh, an awesome guest house with some beds. So maybe just Jean-Paul, for the beginners, tell us what kind of activity have you been up to? How many properties have you been viewing? How many offers are you putting out there? And let's check it out then. And what about Parky? It says your Parky Stan.
Looks like Jean-Paul got his Brockpan deal accepted, which is good.
Yeah, which is awesome. It's awesome. Okay, let's see. Cool, man. I see all the links are in there, and I mean, yeah, David, it's clear that there's definitely an opportunity with guest houses across the country. I've seen and heard and seen emails. I've seen Facebook messages where you got these smaller guest houses where some guest houses survived and through COVID, some didn't, and they're coming out and they're now selling. Some of the reasons I've seen that they're selling, they're emigrating, or they're semi-grating, or there's just a financial impact. And that's where we as professional property investors see the opportunity with regards to taking over those properties. I mean, Jean-Paul, I was saying to Jean-Paul on Friday about looking at doing an installment sale agreement on one of these guest houses. Otherwise, just going out and doing an outright purchase, where you could even, move into the property yourself, depending on your marriage, you have kids. Why don't you take over an installment sale agreement, move into the property, live there for free, and then rent out their rooms either on long-term rentals or get your speed up to date with how Airbnb works. And it could be that, so if you think about it, there's one earth, there's 10 or you don't flats, you stay in the one, or you and your partner stay in the one. You select 4 or 5 for Airbnb and 4 and 5 for long-term rentals. So it serves 3 different strategies there. So that ASA deal is a hot one at the moment. So Jean-Paul says, so that tells me, Jean-Paul, the sellers are obviously very keen to enter an installment sale agreements. If you don't know what an installment sale agreement is, it's where where there's a seller who has a bond with a specific bank. There may not be any equity or enough equity. They just want to dispose it because maybe they're moving, like I said, semi-grating. And they're open to the idea of somebody servicing that bond for them. So Jean-Paul will then say to the guest house owner, so your bond is 10 grand a month, your rates and taxes are 1,000 rand a month, and your guest house is empty and you want to move away, I will cover the base cost for you. So these guest house owners can move away. Jean-Paul moves in, he starts servicing the bond on behalf of the owner. The contract's still in place with the bank and the owner, the actual bond application. And Jean-Paul gets the attorneys involved and they register his interest at the deeds office. And now Jean-Paul has control over the asset. He has a legal registered, call it an endorsement against the title deed. So he's protected. And Dave and I were talking about this on Saturday at the one-day workshop. For all of you investors, you really need to understand how installment sale agreements work, because it's a great strategy and a great way of controlling an asset. And this deal that Jean-Paul's talking about doesn't need that much of a renovation, if my memory serves me well. So you can get into deals for a very, very small amount of capital, depending on what the deal is. And you don't need to show affordability, which is great. So yeah, so well done there, Jean Paul. Cool. What else we got there, Dave?
Yvonne's making some queries about the business plan. So I think we're talking about the investment proposal. What are the main topics that you should address in that? So Drew, we've got a module in the fundamentals course where we cover investment proposals, what needs to go in them, how to sort of propose, how to get them into investors' hands. At a high level, what sections do we have there? We've got about the investor, we've got about the team who are behind the deal. We've
Yeah,
obviously got market research. What about the area? What about, and then obviously what about the actual deal? Numbers, supporting documents, proof of evidence. So if you've got a refurb, share your quotes, that sort of stuff. Um, is there anything
yeah.
I'm missing there?
Well, I think that, yeah, no, I think there's quite a bit. So one for me, if you think about it, what is an investor looking for when they read your proposal document? You can have 100 pages or 3 pages, as long as you're telling the investor or saying to the investor, what's in it for you, Mr. Investor? How much money is in it for you? Well, there's a 15% return on your money every single year. I'm looking for 500,000 Rand over 12 months. So you're going to tell the investor how much you're looking for, what interest rate, what term length. They go, that sounds really good, but who the hell is Yvonne? That is when, like Dave is saying, there will be a section about who is Yvonne. And what I was saying to the team on Saturday, it does give you more credibility if you're dealing with a newish investor. When you do say, well, I'm a professional member at the SA Property Investors Network. I have a property coach, Andrew Walker, or whoever it is, and they've helped me put together this proposal document. So yes, you'll have your about me, about the high level details about the deal, your exit strategies. But the most important thing is what's in it for me as an investor. How long do you need my money, and what happens if something goes wrong? If you just cover those basics, that's normally enough for an investor to say yes or no. But Yvonne, there's more to this than meets the eye. And that's what Dave's talking about. We cover this in great detail on the fundamental course. Yvonne, tell me, have you done that yet? The SA fundamental course? Just say yes or no. Let us know if you're on brand new to this or not. Cool.
Cool. I think while we wait for Yvonne to respond, a bit of a general question, but it's based to Charlie's over there. She's doing rent to rent at the moment, out meeting landlords, but struggles with confidence. I think that's very common for people who are new into property investing. They're trying to do their first deal. They're very hesitant when they've got to meet the estate agents because they feel like estate agents have a level of authority, but they
Yeah.
also meet sellers and they need to go that. Drew, when you're doing coaching with some of the students, what are your sort of suggestions at the moment?
What, in terms of confidence and getting out there and doing it?
Yeah, well, Drew,
Yeah.
you're probably not
So,
the right person to ask this.
yeah. So, look, I mean, I've definitely dealt, and that's Nishali, eh?
Mm,
Nishali, if I
yeah,
got that right. It's a good point. And again, on Saturday, I was doing a 1 day property workshop in Cape Town with Dave. And we brought that up because Tambisa, I don't know if Tambisa's on right now. So Tambisa has got the exact same problem. She's got access to finance. She's got the knowledge. She just doesn't have the confidence. And she's really scared. What happens if the deal goes wrong? What happens? It's all what happens if. What happens if I don't make money? What happens if that? And what you'll find, Shlali, and I don't know what your experience is in property, so let us know how experienced are you? Are you a beginner? Have you attended a 1 day workshop with the academy? Because part of what we do, um, it's to build your confidence. The more knowledge and theory and practical you get from the property academy, the more confidence you will get. When we start connecting you to the right like-minded property investors to support you, you will get confidence. If you're trying to do this by yourself, if you don't have the right support network and you're trying to walk the journey by yourself, you will struggle. You will get to points where you'll walk away. You will go, what? It's easier to walk away and say, well, I would rather walk away than actually take that next step and do the deal. But it's understanding what the risks are associated to that specific deal. So, Mishali, if I'm saying that correct, can you please reach out to Alani, or Dave? Just put Alani's email address for her. Just get her in touch with Alani and let's see how we can help you build that confidence. Okay. I know on the 23rd of October, Leroy Slubber is running a 1 day workshop for you, Mashlali. Where are you in the country? Are you in Joburg? Are you in Pretoria?
yeah. I think from my side there, Drew, it's also just a matter of getting out there and do it. Look, I'm quite a conservative, reserved, introverted person, so that's something I do struggle with the beginning of my time. Um, just got to get into it. Just got to get out there and start doing it. Because if you sit there and you let the fear control you, then you'll never progress past it. But at some point, you're just going to get used to it. However you manage that in your own head, that's going to vary from person to person. But for me, I sort of detached the whole idea of how important it was. And I know that can be kind of weird, but when I speak to an estate agent, I know it's just another deal. I know it's one of the 60 deals I'll view this month, like Jean Paul. So he wouldn't feel that fear of, okay, cool, what if I mess this up? What if I lose this? Because he knows the next deal's just around the corner. So that's what helped me personally, knowing that there's many potential deals, there's many opportunities out there, and you're not just stuck with this one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And even Jean Paul, when you speak to Jean Paul, and he'll say it himself right in the beginning, 'cause I was in the beginning, it took him 2 months ago. He had no idea how to construct an OTP. He had no idea about the different strategies, and he was scared. He was nervous. That is why he decided not to do this by himself, and that's why he joined us. And now he's flying. He's viewed over 65 properties. He's saying he's put offers in, and he's still got the nerves. And I think you'll always have the nerves,
Mm.
but he knows he's got the support.
Yeah, you just get comfortable with the nerves. That's all it is. So anything that
Yeah,
changes, you just get used to being nervous.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's good. Cool. We did get another response from Yvonne. In the process of applying for the first funding of a commercial building, not doing the fundamentals. So yeah, Yvonne, you probably just need the guidance. Especially going into the commercial sector, it's a completely different beast to the standard residential buy to let. It's and similarly, Fred's asking some questions around it. At the end of the day, you guys need the right person in your team to help you through these. Commercial property is very detailed, very intense, and if the banks are going to want to see information and detail and depth from you and an understanding of the commercial property sector. Junior, similarly, they're going to want to see that people know how to vet the tenants and go through that process. And it's not an easy answer. Andrew and I have probably 10 minutes left here, and we're not going to be able to go through the process of how do we go through that. And then there's the other
Yeah.
side of Andrew. You don't really focus on commercial tenants. I've done a couple in my life, but at the end of the day, it's completely different business. So yeah, you need to make sure you get the right people on your team. You get the right coach, the right mentor.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to industrial and commercial. There's still some really good opportunities that, taking an industrial building and doing what we do in the residential sector, convert it to HMO, get
Mhm.
many warehouses within the industrial building. And yeah, you can make a lot of money, but you won't get the 100% finance. How the financing is completely different to that of going and getting a bond with, say, with Absa Bank. But there is great opportunity in that sector, and there's a few people within our network that's been working that sector. So yeah, some good opportunities. Fred, okay, you're saying that Yvonne is looking at the commercial side, but she's not with the SA fundamentals yet,
No,
not on it. Okay, no problem, Yvonne. We'll get along just to reach out to you to see how we can help you move forwards. Okay,
yeah.
cool, man. What is the? How's everyone else? Dave, any other questions?
Jean Paul just weighing in over there on to Charlie's questions. Yeah, just get out there, practice. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to lose a deal. You're going to lose a deal because you say the wrong thing. It's part of the business. You're going to lose the deal because you have a way that you want to do the deal and you're not ready to be flexible and you're not ready to bend. And yeah, just get out there, do the deals, talk to the people. You don't get used to it. You don't get that thick skin until you get there.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Awesome, man. So it's been. I think what we should do, Dave. If you have questions, please send us more questions now. I'm busy reading as I'm speaking, and then perhaps let's go through the events for the week again and touch on Investor of the Year, so everyone's on the same page as we are. Then we can take
Yeah.
one or two questions, and then we can call it a day.
Perfect. So guys, yeah, nice easy week for us. Not a lot happening, so we've got tons of opportunity to work with you guys. I don't know, Andrew and I probably have coaching scheduled in our evenings now. But we got semifinals tomorrow. It's the last opportunity for the semifinal entrance of Invest of the Year to get their pitches done, and then we'll finish the finalist selection process later this week. So really good to be getting that progressed. And what we'll be doing is we'll be announcing those finalists publicly as well, so everyone here will be able to see who the finalists are, watch some of the pitches, and then we'll essentially be talking about the finalists and what's happening there up until the 18th of November, because that's when Invest of the Year award is. If the team could just put a link in the chat box. Drew,
And I
you want to
think just,
talk
and
about it?
I think on that, Dave, everyone must know that every single one of you can still take part. So yes, the entries into the competition has closed, like Dave said, 18th of November at in Melrose Arch. So just go to investoroftheyear.co.za and check it out if you never heard about it before. Just go on there, watch the video that's on there. It's the reel from 2 years ago. You can join virtually for 97 Rand, or you can be there on the evening for 1997, and you can take part in the judging. So we're obviously going to have there's different categories, right? There's a beginner category, there's the most advanced category, there's big league, social change, most innovative. So there's a category for all the different investors. So I urge every single one of you take part in this. It's a social platform for all entrepreneurs to be a part of, and it's there to inspire and transform South African property investors. Cool.
Yeah, 100%. So really good to be getting that down the line. Yeah, it's definitely like Drew said, the last one is in 2019. We wanted to do one in 2020, but we all know what happened then. So it's
Yeah,
really good
exactly.
to sort of get Investor Award done and happening, which is really exciting. And then, yeah, the only other event on the schedule for this week is the Sourcing Bootcamp. So it's a 2-day event. The 16th of October is day one, and then the day two, I think it was 13 November off the top of my head. And the idea is that we'll go there, spend some time with Nico Isabel, learn about the fundamentals of sourcing. They're going to give you some practical on the ground homework that you're going to go out and do. And when you go back for day two, we're going to sit there and go through your homework, analyze the deals that you looked at, analyze the sort of investment proposals. So someone was asking earlier, sorry, I forgot who it was, what needs to go in an investment proposal. That's what Nico and then we'll be covering on the Sourcing Bootcamp. It's going to be a really good opportunity over there. Guys, as always, all the events are in a calendar that you guys can access. You can add all the events to your calendar with a few clicks, or just see all of the events. You'll see the team has just put the links over there, as well as the link for Investor Year Award.
Awesome. Sounds good to me.
Perfect.
And there's a few newbies that joined us through the call. So just to touch base there while you get some questions, with the Sourcing Bootcamp, what that is so it's like Dave said, this Saturday, and it's not just the one day. It's a journey over a month. So there's the one day on the 16th, followed by the 13th of November. And Nick and the team are going to show you them, for those of you that want to learn how to earn an income by sourcing properties. That's how I got started in London. I used to earn a living off of finding opportunities for other investors. So how do you become a broker? How do you get the deals and negotiate and pass the deals on to someone else? So that's what this between October and November is all about, just to show you how you can actually earn a living off of property sourcing. So for those of you that are interested and you want to join Nico and the team, I'll be there for a good few hours on Saturday as well, giving you my experience and giving you some golden tips. Just click on that link and we'll sort it
Perfect.
out.
100%. Looking forward to it. And yeah, guys, I think just from a high level in terms of events, what's happening, we're still navigating coming out of COVID, but it sort of feels like we can go back to in-person events. So that's why you'll see us. We have a premiere event next week in Johannesburg. Really excited to be doing face-to-face. We'll be keeping some of the broader networking events online for a little bit, but hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be fully in person, back to seeing everyone face to face, live streaming where possible. I know a lot of the guys still want to do the live streams, so we'll do that. And then, yeah, Andrew and I had a good conversation this past weekend around 2022 and what we're going to be doing over there. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a really good opportunity for us to get face to face with you guys, spending time and just networking. It was the nicest thing about Thursday night at the TAF event. Drew, we just rocked up and everyone was networking. Everyone was talking. We did about 10, 15 minutes of presentations and asking Professor really some questions, and then we just sort of went into networking, and it went on until curfew pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. And lots of dancing and fun and building relationships. It's so much easier to do that when you're face to face, rather than doing that, over Zoom or over whatever it might be. It makes it so much easier. I was actually seeing that while you get questions, if we actually had any photographs to show people. It was just, I think I've got
There
some.
should be there should be a few friendly photographs. The dancing got a little interesting at some point in the evening.
Yeah, we found that we've got a business partner that knows how to move in the dance floor.
I will wait to make sure that the photos are clean. Maybe while Drew, no, cool, you got that up.
Yeah, these are just some of the ones. There's a handsome guy emceeing an event. That is Investor of the Year. So I haven't got some really cool ones with the networking, but that was the event, and it's just really, really cool, eh? So I hope to see the rest of you on Saturday.
Yeah, 100%. So it's been really good. Quickly just answer one of the questions over there. I feel like everyone else did answer it already, but Mr. Charlie's asking about the future rental income products and if someone in South Africa does that. And like everyone said in the chat box, ABSA does a future rental income product. What they do is they'll take a percentage of the income that the property will earn or has the potential to earn and count it towards your affordability. So let's say, for example, you've got an affordability of 10,000 rand a month and you've got the property that will generate another 10,000. They'll look at like 75% and add the 7,500 rand towards your affordability, and then that's how they'll help calculate what bond you can get, which is really nice. They're the only bank doing that. It's a really exciting opportunity to be talking about products like that recognize what investors do and come to the table. It's good.
Yeah, I agree with you. So just go through SAP and Connect. Go to SAP and Connect and connect directly with ABSA through SAP and Connect, and you'll see what Dave's talking about.
I'll drop a link in a second.
Fred is saying you can't see it on the calendar. Fred, there is a link there for you. Failing that, go to the propertyacademy.co.za and have a look at the drop down where it says workshops and webinars, and you'll see the deal sourcing bootcamp on the Property Academy's website. We will pop the we will pop it back in the link there.
Yeah, I'll grab it unless someone from the team can beat me to it.
I think. Let's just see. And yeah, everyone, go out there, have a successful week. We are getting towards the end of the year. Can you believe it? We'll see Christmas stuff being sold in shops very, very soon. So Tommy's running out for 20 Elegant Days face. Christmas? What the hell? I love Christmas, by the way. And yeah, I mean, before you know it, October's finished, November's there, Investor of the Year is around the corner, and you'll all be going away on holiday. So take the opportunity now to get and that's my attitude. I'm doing this now. I'm being as aggressive and I'm moving as fast as I can to get as much as I can done in 2021 so that we can all go away and have a nice, relaxing Christmas. So ensure you attend the events. You'll see myself there, or you'll see Dave there, or the team there. And Fred, maybe we'll see you on Saturday. And yeah, Yvonne, Alani will be in touch with you. Hopefully they've got your details. If not, pop your email address or a phone number there somewhere. And yeah, from our side, Dave, yeah, let's rock it, eh? Have a good week, everyone.
Perfect. Cool. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Happy. Yeah, Drew, thanks so much for your time, as always. Guys, for those of you who don't know, every Monday at 1 o'clock, Andrew are here, unless, like what almost happened to me today, we're going to get load shedded.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do it. We'll be here as much as we can. But yeah, Monday, 1 o'clock every week. It's always going to be good.
Awesome. Sounds good to me, Dave.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Drew.
Cool.